Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Welcome to Midday Mentoring, and we're doing a midweek special this week. So we're going to do literally Ask Me Anything. So anything business, personal, economics, deals, finance, systems, structure, anything you want to talk about, we're going to cover in this. Thank you very much to those who've already sent questions in. I've taken those all up and put them on here. And then post as many questions as you want as we go. Hi Ivan, Stephen, good to see you all. Just jot down any questions on here and I'll rattle through as many as I can in the next 15 minutes or so. So I've got some here that have already come through and I've taken them off the thread to get us started. All of these videos now are being posted on YouTube because some people have messaged to say that they're losing them in the thread. They're coming back to watch them on their lunch breaks, coming back to watch them later in the day, and they can't find them in the thread because obviously the thread in the group's pretty active. How you doing, Chris? The thread's pretty active, so what we've done is we've uploaded them all to YouTube. If you go to YouTube, type in Property Entrepreneur channel, you'll find all of these videos on there. So right, we'll get straight into it. Got probably the best part of 15 minutes. We've got a few people on the call already. I'll fire off with a couple of questions that have come in. So starting from the top. So I've got a portfolio in London. Where can you get capital growth and cash flow, or is that not an option? So you get capital growth for a number of reasons. So you get capital growth in high demand areas, and these high demand areas are often attract. How you doing, Nick? These high demand areas obviously attract capital growth due to demand in the boom times. Normal places like this would be London, down south. The further down south you go, normally what you experience there is yield compression. So the capital growth goes up, but due to affordability, the rent does not increase in line with capital growth. So you end up with quite a small yield. So I can understand that. If your portfolio is in London, I haven't actually got the names here. I'll have to get those for next time. Whoever posed the question, with regards to capital growth in, say, London, in this example, with regards to getting the cash flow on there, you might be able to gear it up into serviced accommodation or into a HMO, something like that. So strategically, you can increase the net cash flow from the property. However, you will always suffer, in the main, a yield compression. As capital values go up, rental, especially down south, doesn't always go up in the same trajectory. So you will struggle there. The other place you can get capital growth is where there's local market factors. So if you know a local area where perhaps you're getting where a local area demand is going to increase for whatever reason, maybe they're putting some infrastructure in, maybe there's plans to put like the like when we had Crossrail, HS2. If there's something that's incoming that's speculative or has been announced, the capital growth curve, there'll be some early adopters and some will wait later and later and later. If you want to get capital growth and cash flow, you can get the good cash flow and the strong yield based on the purchase price, but hedge your bets on a capital growth curve that's it's more speculative or it's incoming. So it's not already on that. It's not already on that curve. So you basically buy cheap, secure your yield on the price you've spent, and then ride the capital growth curve as it starts to go up. How you doing, John? How you doing, Claire? If you guys got any questions, like post them in now, and I can see them. I'll rattle through them as they come through. So that was the first one. Second one is, how do I fire someone? So this is basically the art of challenging conversations. So the first port of call is you need to establish is it a person, is it a process issue or a performance issue or a person issue? If it's a fundamental person issue, maybe there isn't a culture match, maybe it's not the right culture for the business, then there's not, you might choose that you need to move it out. If there's a fundamental issue with ability, competency, you've got competence and then you've got consistency, and you need both of them from your team. If there's a competency issue and that needs to be addressed, you can look at that. The first port of call is to assess whether somebody has the legs. Your gut instinct will know pretty early if this person's going to stay. If it's not a culture fit, if they're a terrorist, terrorist is a term that we use when we're looking at culture profiles. So you've got your stars, your rats, your puppies, and your terrorists. A bad Apple will spoil the cart. Those people can hold your whole team hostage. You want to identify those as immediately as possible and part ways. With regards to actually parting ways with somebody and potentially firing someone, hire slow, fire fast. Give them the benefit of the doubt, take them through the motions. Depending on how big your company is, there's obviously legal elements that you need to be considering. So work your way through those. Get a good HR consultant if you want to get absolute clarity to make sure you're doing it by the book. And then the main thing is to bring to their attention, really. Every difficult conversation I've had to have, I've brought to people's attention, this is the problem. This is the fundamental issue. And then you can have a collaborative conversation about whether you can get that person to where they need to get to. If you make it very, very clear what the issues are and the performance issues are, firing someone doesn't have to be as black and white as a see you later. It's time to go, we're sacking you. It needs to be a progressive conversation. And you'll normally find that it also actually ends in an amicable exit. So all parties, by the time you get around to it, are aware of what the situation is going to be, and then it just naturally takes that fold. And you might find probably 6 or 7 times out of 10 as well that it's not actually the right business for them. It's not the right business. It's not the right opportunity. It's not the right culture. They're not in the right place, and it will naturally run its course. If you have to go through a formal sort of exit, I would suggest setting the expectations. And you want to use the 3-strike formula, really. Setting the expectations, this is what's required. And then in the same way you would a probation period or an appraisal, is then manage them against those performance criteria, record the information, revisit the information in each meeting, submit it to make sure there's clear understanding, and then it will run its course and you'll be able to part ways. I wouldn't suggest going in with challenging conversations. The thing is to not ambush. You want to avoid an ambush at all costs because they can be crippling. What you want to do is manage expectations, make it clear what the topic of conversation is, discuss it openly, discuss it frankly. Like, nobody likes challenging conversations, but discuss it frankly, discuss it honestly, and push it forward in that capacity. Next one, can I have a free place on Property Entrepreneur? It's a very quick one. The answer is no. If you're in the south of England looking to purchase either buy-to-let or HMOs that yield, would you look to purchase 2 hours away in an unknown area or 4 hours away in an area you know? 2 hours away in an unknown area or 4 hours away in an area where you've got friends or family based. The plan is buying property based on yield. That's easier to find in the Midlands North. Yeah, definitely. So we're based, our head office is in Nottingham. We've got 7 offices around the UK. And the yield is considerably higher around the Midlands. Nottingham is actually one of the top 5. Nottingham's where I live. It's where I've got a reasonable amount of property. And it's actually like the top 5 area, or at least it was last year. Top 5 areas for yield, so definitely. I would say the most important thing is it's if you don't want to self-manage, which is what I would recommend. I wouldn't recommend anybody self-manages. On the basis you don't want to self-manage, there is an actual appeal to it being out of area because you won't be popping past, you won't be driving past and seeing the bins overflowing and getting paranoid. There is a benefit to investing out of area. The most important thing, however, is that you do master your market. So we talked about this yesterday. Watch yesterday's video if you've not seen it. You need to master your market. And this will be, I don't think you can replace or replicate the value of local knowledge, because in Nottingham there's streets where we would buy all day long and there's a street next door where we wouldn't touch with a barge pole. You want to know that the market to that granularity because it'll impact your capital growth, it'll impact your yield, it'll impact your voids, your maintenance, all of those sort of things. So the most important thing with regards to location isn't necessarily where you are, as long as you don't intend to self-manage, which is what I would recommend to everybody. So looking outside of the area, but then find somebody in the local area who knows what they're doing. A deal sourcer. So I've bought deals out of area before, and I can say, I haven't bought that many, but I can say that the ones that I've bought, I've had 100% success rate with, because I've used a deal sourcer who knows the market inside out, has lots of experience, knows what a deal is, and in my case, has then managed it ongoing. So, they've sourced it and managed it, and they've worked really, really well. So if you're looking to invest out of area, I wouldn't say it needs to be where your friends and family are. I would say it needs to be where you've got some inside information about the local market. So you get those things inside out. I've got quite a few people on the call. How you doing, Michael? How you doing, John? Tony, nice for you to join us. What questions have you guys got? What things can... This is literally like one-to-one mentoring. Anything you want to know about property, investments, business. Before I rattle through the last couple on here, we've got 5-10 minutes left. What questions can I help you guys with? What challenges have you got in your business? What things are you considering? What's the biggest challenge you've got at the moment? What's holding you back? What can I help you guys with? So I'll do another one of these while you're thinking about that. Number one tip for making more money. So it's a good question. The number one tip for making more money. So the reality is most entrepreneurs, like the majority of people in business, are spending their lives building businesses that don't make money. The hallmark of a property entrepreneur is that you can build a business that pays you the going salary for your job. So if you're, a deal sourcer, 30 to 50 grand a year, depending on what the deals are, it should be paying you the money that the business would have to pay if they employed somebody else. So you're getting paid a salary. And then it should also return you the same again as a minimum in net profit, like absolute minimum. The reality is most people don't do that because they don't actually build a business, they build a job. And if it's not going to pay you the market salary plus a profit, or it's not even going to pay you the market salary, why take on all the risk, the responsibility of actually owning a company? You'd be much better, just going out and working for somebody else where you can close the door at 5:30, 6 o'clock. So the biggest thing for making more money would be, I would say, is your business model. Is don't start until it's finished. Build your business very, very strategically. So your business model should fit on a one-page sheet of Excel, and you should be able to rattle it off in 60 seconds. Your business model is this. We source 14 deals a year. Our minimum fee is £25,000 per deal. Our criteria is 16% triple net return. We buy cash, we refinance out, and we charge another fee for project management. That is a business model. What is your actual business model? And get absolute crystal clear clarity on what that is before you even start. That is absolutely essential. Build the business model out. Because the good thing is, when you've got a lucrative business model and it's stacked and it's sound, hope for the best, expect the worst. If you can find an opportunity in your market where you're looking at your proper figures, your revenue, operating costs, revenue, cost of sales, overheads, your salary, and then the profit, that profit wants to be north of 20%. It really does. 20, 30, 40. So we've got one business which is targeted this year, which starts next March. So we've already done the business model for next year. It's targeted at 50% net profit. So 50% net profit is very, very high, ridiculously high. There won't be many people who've identified niches in the market and invested in products and created track record that achieves those figures. But for next year, it's 50. For this year, it was 40. This morning, I did the Q2 finance review. So the business was targeted at 40 this year. I did the Q2 finance review this morning. And bear in mind, we've had a couple of unexpected costs this year, and we have invested quite heavily, which we weren't expecting to do. So we were targeting a 40% margin, but as always, things come up, costs, things take longer than you think, they cost more than you think. Welcome to those who've just joined us. How you doing, Alan? How you doing, Akash? Guys, post me some questions. Let me know what you like. How can I help you in your business? Drop me some questions on here. I'm hoping that they come up. Drop me a question. How can I help you the most in your business in the next 5 minutes? So we're targeted at 40% for this year, and our current Q2 year-to-date margin, after all mistakes, extra expenses, things we weren't expecting, is currently 35.72%. And that's after my salary, that's after the overheads, that's after the investments we've made. The best way to make more money is to know your business model. Like we teach this on Property Entrepreneur through the winter. Again, it takes 3 months, January, February, March, on Property Entrepreneur to do this. You want to build a solid business model so that even if you have a bad year, in comparison to the rest of the market, you're still having a good year. So find these high margin businesses. That would be my answer to that question. What is the best strategy? So the last one I've got here actually. So guys, if you've got any questions, post them on here. Literally, I'm here to help you. You can ask me anything you want. What is the best strategy? I don't know who this was from. What is the best strategy for 2020? Well, there's a million different things I could answer here. The first thing I would say is life by design. So on Property Entrepreneur, we talk about life by design. If you are a salesperson, don't go out and build a bookkeeping business. If you are a steel profile operations manager, don't go out and build a sales consultancy company or product development business. You need to be really strategic about, you want to create a life by design. What do you actually want this year? Do you want more time? Do you want more money? Do you want more freedom? What do you want? More engagement? Do you want more challenges? Do you want to be a fast growth entrepreneur? What do you actually want this year? The best strategy for you is something that matches that, because business is tough, it's challenging. Obviously, we give all our property entrepreneurs the tools they need to make this easier. And we've built PPN UK to a size now where it is a lot easier than it used to be, because it's of a size. It's had 6 years trading. It's at a size now where it works really nicely. The best strategy for you would be to understand what your life by design is looking like, and then work with that to actually mirror that. Life by design would be the first thing. Second thing would be, if thinking about the market, what strategy is best for 2020? Without a doubt, 2020 to 2025 is unique market conditions. I'm buying some deals at the minute, and the market is flat. So in this area I'm looking, the market is flat, so the deals are cheap. These are just single let houses. The market's flat, so the deals are cheap. The finance market has never been cheaper, so the money to raise from the mortgages is cheap. The price of the property is cheap, and lots of it available, and the rental market is stable, if not increasing, because transaction levels are starting to drop now. Rents are very, very strong. 2020 to 2025, don't underestimate how good this is to be a property entrepreneur. It's the best time in history. You need two things to be a property entrepreneur. You need volatility in the market, and you need entrepreneurial market conditions. We've never seen conditions like this, and it's only going to get worse. Doesn't matter which way Brexit goes. We've got tax changes, changing government, all of the macro and microeconomics, nationally and internationally, are all over the place. You look at the stats, look at the figures, and master the market. These next 5 years will be the best in our lifetime to make the money. Those who make it now will make it big. Strategically, it'll be looking at your market, looking at your objective, looking at your resources, and really thinking strategically, what is it you want to actually do. Next question, so one from Akash. How do you deal with overwhelm when way too many things are going on at the same time and you enter survival mode instead of still progressing, working on the business forwards? It's a great situation to be in. We have many clients knocking on our door. So a few things. You've got preparation to avoid overwhelm, and then you've got the recovery from overwhelm. With regards to trying to set yourself up for success, without a doubt, is planning your calendar well. So Sunday sanity, Akash, you've done Property Entrepreneur, you'll know how this works. Sunday, be militant with your time. If you work Monday to Friday and you take Saturday and Sunday off, that is your standard. That is your standard. For Monday to Friday, if you're getting overwhelmed and you're not working on the business rather than in it, it's because your standard is that from Monday to Friday, that's your working in the business. If you were sick on Friday and you were out of the business would not die, the business would not end, the business day to day would not be done, and you'd probably claw it back on the Monday. You want to be carving out very deliberate time in your calendar to work on the business rather than in it. An easy way, Akash, again, I know you get up early, is carve out the time in the morning, cave time, prime time. Get up early and get 2, 3, 4, 5 hours on the business rather than in it before you start. Don't go on your phone till a certain time. Tell all your team you don't go on your phone until 9 a.m, 10 a.m, whatever time is realistic. And have that time locked out in your diary to work on it rather than in it, knowing that at 9 o'clock when you flick airplane mode off, the world's going to come and get you, and you've got 6 hours or 7 hours of hammering it, of day to day, of getting on the treadmill. You can't paint a canvas when you're running on a treadmill. You have to get above the noise to work on the business rather than in it. If you fall off the tracks, so you set your week up and then you have a curveball, team member lets you down, huge deal comes in, something goes completely wrong on a site, and you lose a whole day, what you do to get back on it is hot spotting. So hot spotting is basically get a sheet of paper, draw 3 circles, and overwhelm is, so here's the way to get overwhelm. Prevent panic with planning. If you feel like a panicked person and you're running around and you're like anxious and you can feel your heart rate lifting, your body temperature rising, the way you get over that is planning. Remove panic with planning. So plan your week out meticulously, and remove chaos with clarity. When you're in chaos and there's this going on and there's that going on, you can't see the wood from the trees. Get a sheet of paper and do hot spotting. 3 circles on the piece of paper. So 1, 2, 3. And then you write it down. So you can't see the wood from the trees. You need to see the wood. What are the 3 most important things you have to focus on today? Or now? That's it. So 1 might be this deal's about to fall over. 2 might be you've got to pay everyone's salary at 5 o'clock. 3 might be get an offer in. Whatever. Get those 3 things, and immediately that clarity will remove the chaos. It will say, right, well, they're the 3 things I've got to focus on. And then underneath each, you just write down, what are the things that I need to do to get this done? So if it was, you need to get an offer in on a deal, it would be appraise the deal, speak to the agent, speak to the solicitors, review the legal pack, jot down the things you need to do now to achieve that, do the other ones, and then like we talked about yesterday, use the to-do list methodology. Get your pen and then write, right, strategically in order, not in order of which are the easiest jobs, in order of logically which ones of these make sense first, due to timing, due to priority, due to how quick they are to do. Number the jobs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then lock in 90-minute sessions. Right, 90-minute, phone off, cup of coffee, like bang. 90 minutes, smash, yes, through the job. Have a break, go for a walk, watch a YouTube video, go on WhatsApp, go on Facebook, whatever. Have a break, have a drink, get some fresh air, get some steps in, and then back at it for another 90 minutes. They're the 2 things I would suggest to deal with overwhelm. Right, guys, I think that's pretty much time. Any closing questions before we call it a day for today? Any other questions for those of you watching this later on? Feel free to drop those. How do you maintain quality in that situation? I think focus and working at high value pace, so not going too quick and dropping the ball and rounding the corners off, but equally not going so slow, procrastinating, things like that. Driving those things forward will really, really help you. Those of you that are watching this video later, sorry you couldn't join us. Hopefully you got some value from other people's questions. Post some questions in the thread for those of you that are watching the recording, and the moment I get a second, I will jump on and try my best to record that on there and answer those questions for you. Have a great day, ladies and gents. I'll see you, all being well, tomorrow for midday mentoring at 12 o'clock. Bring your drink, bring your sandwiches. Look forward to sharing lunch with you. Have a great day. Have a great Wednesday. And best of luck going into middle of the week. Take care.